My name is Andrew Clinic, and today I'm going to give you an insight into where we're going with our developer platform and how it's applicable to the apps that you are building. I will cover the platform investments to enable you to build apps for Windows, and also what we're doing to make Windows the best OS to build apps on. Let's start with developing for Windows. Windows has always been the best place to do. It is the digital hub that drives your workflow. There's never been more true than the current environment we all find ourselves working and learning in. The magic of Windows happens when your apps combine with the platform we provide to empower users. The Open Windows platform enables such a diverse set of experiences. Apps run the gamut from living in a web browser to a native app with custom DX shaders. Regardless of how your app is written, Project Reunion provides a path to make your app better on Windows. Faster, leaner, more engaging, and more productive. We started with a few components to build earlier this year, and today I'm excited to give you an update on the progress we've made and insights into our plans. With Project Reunion, we're doing something new for Windows Developer Platform. All our design is being done in the open. All our specs and designs are being created in GitHub so you can follow along and comment to help us build the right product. This isn't a parallel system to our internal design system. It is our design system. We want your feedback on what we're planning so we will build a system that delivers on what you want. Our goal is to open source as much of Project Reunion as possible. So, what is Project Reunion? At its heart, it's about unifying the platforms on Windows into a coherent platform that you can rely on across all supported versions of Windows 10. We are decoupling Project Reunion platform to enable your apps to run on older versions of Windows 10, but also take advantage of new capabilities in the OS and hardware so you can build great Windows apps. Project Reunion is designed to be a complete platform that covers everything you need to write a great Windows app. Obviously, a rich, powerful UX layer is vital. But note, a good UX is nothing without a strong app model to enable your app to integrate with the OS and other applications. So we're building out the app infrastructure components to complement the UX. A core design principle of Project Reunion is that we provide abstractions to simplify coding. You'll be able to get at the intrinsic platform below so you can really make your app sing. For example, if you really want to get to the core windowing APIs, you're just an H window away from being able to make that happen. The other key principle of Project Reunion is you can choose the components that make sense for your app. You do not have to change your entire app to utilize a new component. If you want to use the new activation capabilities, go ahead. You won't have to change the rest of your app just respond to the new activation events. Decoupling brings additional benefits since we're taking the opportunity to refactor and optimize our code. Core MRT is a great example of this. It brings MRT to all your Windows apps. Today it's in GitHub and you can use it in WinUI, but you'll be able to use it in any app, no matter how you built it. It's so cool to be able to have an efficient, simple way to separate out your resources from your app, be that for localization, different resolution assets, or just non-code assets. That's not enough though. By decoupling from the OS, we're able to really concentrate on optimizing our code. What does that mean for you? Well, we're up to 10 times faster on initialization, and looking up a resource is more than twice as fast. Oh, and you can use your existing .NET resources as well, a common request. The second question I get about Project Reunion is, when can I get it? Our goal is to GA Project Reunion mid-next year. To get there, we're continually integrating our preview code into our Project Reunion GitHub. A strong piece of feedback we heard is you wanted forward binary compatibility, so you can rely on Project Reunion components. The preview later this year is special in that it will have that compatibility promise. That is, if you use APIs in the preview, we won't break them in future previews and releases. Of course, we will continue to integrate from now to GA to keep you up to date. Now, any discussion of Project Reunion wouldn't be complete without talking about WinUI. WinUI is our native UX for Windows apps, no matter how you wrote them, Win32 or UWP. The diversity of the Windows platform community is one of its core strengths, and nothing shows this better than the C++ community. C++ remains a significant force in Windows developer community, and of course WinUI supports C++ and .NET. Enough talk. The best way to appreciate WinUI is to see it. So I'd like to hand over to my colleague Miguel to show WinUI 3. Hey Miguel, what's new in WinUI 3?
Hey Andrew, sure, let me tell you a little more about WinUI 3. As you show in the project reunion roadmap, WinUI 3 Period 3 will be released in November, but I want to share with you a sneak peek today. As you say, we are designing WinUI 3 in the open, and the customer feedback is crucial to us. So I want to share today two areas where we addressed a lot of customer feedback: windowing and developer experience. Let me start with the windowing area first. This is a .NET 5 WinUI 3 in desktop app. It means it's using the Win32 app model. There is no application container, and you can call any .NET 5, Win32, and Windows 10 APIs in your app. The first thing I want to show you is how we simplified the code to get the window handle. Customer complained that it was required 45 lines of code to get it. WinUI 3 uses C# WinRT projections, as you see in here, to consume the Windows 10 APIs from .NET 5, and there was a limitation that caused this. Well, we made improvement on the C# WinRT projections, and we down from 45 lines of code to just 1. With this line of code, I can get the window handle, the H1 of the window, and use it in the Win32 APIs. For example, I can close the windows using this classic close window Win32 API. The second feature I want to show you in the windowing area is the support of multiple windows in the same or separate thread. It's as simple as using the new operator of the window type. In this example, I'm creating a new window in the same thread because this boarding pass window derives from the window class. The third new feature is to allow to customize the title bar easily. Customer told us that it's a frequent scenario to do that, so we have added two new APIs that allow you to customize the title bar. One is extend content into title bar, and the second one is set title bar. Let's run the app to show you how it looks like. This is my simple app for demo. Sign in, and just going to fill out some data. Choosing this one. All these demos are fake, so I can proceed to the payment and continue, and there we are. As you see in this demo, there are multiple windows and a custom title bar, and you can close the window calling the Win32 API after getting the window handle. Cool! A set of new features that developers were asking for. Now let's talk about the developer experience area. This is the same app that I showed you before, but writing in C++. As you see, I'm using the C++ WinRT extension, so you can use the standard C++ 17 in your apps. You know how much time it takes to try a small change in your UI? Write code, compile, build. In the Preview 3, we have added a lot of cool tooling experiences that is going to help you to improve that. Let's run this app to demonstrate how you can debug and develop your WinUI 3 app. One of the things that you can notice is there is a live visual tree window that shows up all the XAML that you wrote in your app. If you navigate to another page, the live visual tree is updated as expected in sync with the current view. If I want to know how a change will affect to my UI without commit the change, you can use the Live Property Explorer. Let's filter by the button. I'm going just to click in this last button. And in the Live Property Explorer panel, I'm going just to change for instance, the search button. I'm going to change the content. I want to show only search, and also I'm going to change the font size from something more bigger, like maybe 20. I'm going to return to my app, and you see how I can check immediately how the changes affect to the UI. Well, this is not really a change in your code. So to do a permanent change, you have to write code. So let's go back to here. I click on the button. Another interesting thing that happens is the cursor in your code changing when you click on the live visual tree. And WinUI 3 supports this cool feature called hot reload. So you can write code while the app is running and the app is updated immediately. In this case, I'm going to, for instance, change the button to make it more appealing and accessible, adding a foreground. Right in foreground, brackets. You see how intelligence is helping me to write code faster. This is something new that we added in Preview 3 as well. And using the system cron white color to make it look much better. And go back to the app, and you see how immediately all the changes are applied. Well, this is super cool. So we have improved the developer experience, adding support for the live visual tree, XAML intelligence, and hot reload. And that's all, Andrew. I showed you only a few features that you will see in the Preview 3. I hope that you are as excited as we are. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, Miguel. It's exciting to see WinUI 3 in action. Project Reunion is going to make Windows apps better for everyone. One of the top asks we get from developers is a better way to deploy their applications. Reliable installs and updates are so important since they're the first time your customers get to enjoy your product. We're investing heavily in app deployment with our installer technology, MSIX. We've heard your feedback loud and clear about making it easier to adopt MSIX. And I'm happy to announce 3 new capabilities to assist with that. First, for developers, we're introducing the ability to break out the file system and registry virtualization to help with application compatibility. This is being done in a way that provides the flexibility your app needs while maintaining the promise that MSIX will cleanly install and uninstall your application. For enterprise app deployment, we're also introducing the ability to create a new shared MSIX container that will allow IT professionals to deploy apps into the same container so they can share the same registry and file system virtualization. This will help considerably with moving existing apps to MSIX. You know, Windows is and always has been an open platform. So we're ensuring that the platform enables apps to be distributed from any location. We're expanding our app auto-updater technology to enable the updates to come from wherever you install your apps from. This will enable you to seamlessly keep your users up to date. My goal is to rid the world of auto-updater.exes. I think we're about slided out at this point, so I'd like to switch to showing you code running and demo how we're making Windows the best place to develop. Now, to keep myself productive, I find myself in the command line more and more. And I love Windows Terminal as much as anybody out there. V1 is just awesome. But increasingly, I find myself using more and more Linux apps and tools to really help with my productivity. And WSL1 was really cool, but I hear great things about WSL2, so let's take a look. So I can just type WSL, and oh, that's embarrassing. You know, I didn't set up this machine properly for this demo. But luckily, WSL is telling me I can go get some distros from the Microsoft Store. Awesome. And it gives me this handy URL to go get it. But you know what? I can't click on it. This has been one of my biggest kind of complaints about command line. Why can't it just let me click on that? I have to copy and paste it into the browser. Surely there's a better way. Now, luckily, I work in the developer platform on Windows, so I know some folks on the terminal team. So why don't I give Kayla Cinnamon a call on Teams and see if she can really help me understand why they haven't fixed my biggest problem? Surely that's the most important thing for them to fix. Hey, Kayla, what's going on?
Hey, Andrew, I'm so glad you called. I wanted to show you a few new things that are coming for Windows Terminal and Windows Terminal Preview here at Ignite. So I will share my screen and get onto my desktop. And the first thing I need to do is, of course, launch Windows Terminal. So I can now do that with one of our new features called Jump List. So I'll be able to launch Windows Terminal with a specific profile from the Start menu or the taskbar. So if I right-click on my Windows Terminal Preview build here, you'll see that I get the list of my profiles listed above in the little jump list, and I can launch Windows Terminal in any one of these profiles. So that is our first new feature here for Windows Terminal Preview for Ignite. The next new feature is hyperlink support, and this is for links that are embedded hyperlinks. So the shell knows that it's a hyperlink based on its tags. So this text here, for example, is not auto-detected as a link yet, and that is coming very soon. But right now we have support for just embedded hyperlinks. So if I were to run these two commands to get an embedded hyperlink on my screen, I can do that right here, and this now becomes a link. And if I hold Control and click on this link, it will open in my default browser. So that is the second feature that is here for Windows Terminal Preview. And the last feature that we want to announce is something that went into preview at last month, and now it's coming into stable, and that is the command palette. So if I do Control-Shift-P, this will launch the command palette, and it lists all of the commands that are available to me. And I can also specify custom commands in my settings.json file. So I actually set up a custom dev environment that I can load into a command, and I added this cute little icon here too. So if I click on this, it will open the panes and the configuration that I set up in that command. So that has come to Windows Terminal stable, and those are all of the announcements we have for Windows Terminal here at Ignite.
Thanks, Kayla. That's awesome. I can't wait to be able to click on the URL and from the command line actually take me through to the browser, or in this case, to the store where I want to be. Now, it's great. Here I am. Here's the store page for all the Linux distros available for WSL. And it's super cool. I can just click on these and download them, and it'll install really seamlessly for me. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of all in on the command line. And, you know, whilst I love the store, it doesn't really fit in with my developer workflow. Wouldn't it be cool if I could install those Linux distros from the command line? Well, turns out you can from today. So the way we can do that is we've integrated the store into the Windows Package Manager as a custom repo. So let's take a look and see what's there. So I can say winget source list, and sure enough, it's showing me the original winget repo, but also a new one, MS Store. So a new store repo has been added. Now we're trialing this for the store, but you will be able to own your own, put your own repos into winget and the Windows Package Manager later on this year. Let's take a look and see what's inside the MS Store. So I can say winget show -s for a source. In this case, I'm going to look at the MS Store, if I can type, which I can't. And wow, that's quite a few apps. Well, turns out there's quite a few apps in the store. And for this preview, what we've done is we've taken a look at all the apps in the stores, and we've tried to pull across all the ones that are developer focused. So let's see if we can utilize this and actually go install Debian. So let's say winget install Debian, and it's found it. It's downloading this. It's downloading it directly from that. It's doing the package install. Great. Now I can just type Debian. It'll take a few minutes to do this. In reality, it will take a couple of minutes, and it's asking me to set up, and then I'm ready to go. I'm not going to show you setting up my my Unix implementation on that, but so I'll just Control-C out of that. So super cool. We're really enabling Windows Package Manager to be more extensible and provide you with the information and the apps that you want to make yourself more productive. Now, some of the other feedback we got about our Package Manager command line was it's really cool that PowerShell can do this tab autocomplete. And why don't we support that with our WinGet app? Well, turns out we do now. So I can type WinGet, type I, hit tab, and it automatically does the autocomplete for the command for install. Okay, so that's cool, but not really that impressive. But what if it knew about what applications I had available in the repos for me? So I can type pow, hit tab, and what it's done is actually looked at the catalog of applications that are available to me and found that PowerToys is a great match for that and make that available to me. Now, I am not going to click enter here because I really want to bring in my colleague, Clint Rutkus, who's really the man who understands exactly what's coming up with PowerToys. He's going to give us an insight into what's coming with the latest, greatest in PowerToys. Over to you, Clint. So, what's new?
Hey, Andrew, thanks for calling. Let's just do this live versus recording. I got your email up. Yeah, I'd love to give you an overview of what's new in PowerToys. Now, I'm going to show you off our experimental 0.22 build. And what's new in it is we have a video conference mute tool. So down here, you can see that I have 2 buttons in this toolbar, and it will let me quickly toggle my microphone, my camera on and off. And you can also do this via hotkeys. So if I hit Window key N, it would mute everything. And now the really important thing here also is it's application agnostic. It works with any application. So really quick, I'm just going to mute my camera here because I'm talking to you. So I'm going to hit Shift Window key O, and you can see my camera's off. Now if I click the toolbar really quick, it turns back on the video stream. Super quick, super easy, super powerful. And these times where we have to do video conferencing and you have interruptions from the house. So another really powerful thing we added in recently was with our keyboard manager was app targeted shortcuts. So right now, let me go bring this, your email here, and I'm going to just hit, if I hit F4, it would bring up the find dialog. But if I hit Control F, it actually would typically forward the email. So instead, because I remapped it, it goes to the find prompt. So if I hit find, it finds that. Lastly, another great powerful thing we added in was in fancy zones, you can now do multiple snappings to multiple zones. So right now I snapped it to one zone. I'm going to grab this window, and now if I hold down Control also, you can see here I have 3 zones highlighted now. I click it, it snaps to all the zones. Super quick, super powerful. So those were just a couple of the new little tweaks and additions we added to PowerToys in our .21 and .22 releases. So hopefully that gives you a quick explanation of what we're working on. We're open source. Can't wait to see what we're going to come up with next.
Thanks, Clint. I can't wait to use Video Mute. I love how PowerToys is focusing on making me more productive. Windows Terminal, Windows Package Manager, and PowerToys really are the trinity of developer productivity. Hopefully, this is giving you an insight into where we're investing to make it easier for you to develop great apps for and on Windows. The best place to keep up to date and learn about Project Reunion is on the GitHub repo at aka.ms/projectreunion. There you'll find all our design specs and code, but also links to existing videos that go into more depth. At Ignite, we have a number of virtual sessions that cover everything from using .NET 5 apps to call WinRT APIs, building collaboration into your app using WebRTC and WinRTC, one of my favorites, and 3 sessions about deploying your apps using MSIX and the new Azure code signing service. I highly recommend taking a look at these. Thank you for watching, and we really look forward to seeing what amazing apps you build on Windows.